And welcome back to the breakdown. Lauren Henry is here now. Hi, Lauren.
Hi, Heather.
So you've been working now for months on stories involving Vesta Realty and unlivable conditions in many different apartment complexes.
Yep, absolutely. We've been bringing you stories, like you said, for months, and just to kind of break it down here, we also have told you about YSA investments and the predatory loans that Vesta Realty took out with them, and also YSA Investments CEO, which is Ephraim Dibaroli. Now, he was convicted of fraud. He's a former arms dealer. You might recognize the name from the movie War Dogs. And, even some of those loans that he gave Mark Kulik, the CEO of Vesta Realty, they had interest rates as high as 7,000%.
Oh my gosh.
Jaw-dropping, I know, right? So
wow.
Kulik defaults on some of those loans, and both of them go to court. Now, the creditors are foreclosing on some of these Vesta properties, but as part of the agreements in some of those loans, Mark Kulik signed over, as collateral some of those properties. So YSA is taking them to court. They're trying to get control of those properties. It's a huge back and forth. Well, this week, a bankruptcy judge in Texas puts their foot down. They say enough is enough. They say someone needs to step into this chaos that both of these companies have created. And that's sort of where we are right now. And we were able to sit down with Kulik to kind of get a rundown of all of the things that we have never heard from his side. And that's what we have here.
Okay, his side of the story. Let's take a look and we'll come back with questions.
Vesta's reputation has been hurt inalterably by what YSA has done. There is no greater example than Montage Apartments.
Mark Kulik sat down with us to discuss what he says has led to multiple lawsuits, black mold, pest problems, and more surrounding Vesta Realty properties. Kulik says prior to last fall, issues at his properties were being addressed and fixed.
We had tenant complaints like any property management company did, but we were, actively working on everything and actively fixing things.
But as the dynamics of the economy changed, Kulik turned to private investors to pay for those improvements. Kulik says YSA Investments loaned him more than $7 million. But as the total went up, so did the interest rates. The final loan, $327,000 at 7,000% interest.
That last July 31st loan, and it's caused all the, primarily caused all the chaos and problems that exist today.
As part of the loan, Kulik signed over power of attorney, essentially giving YSA the ability to sign over properties into their ownership, which they did with multiple properties. YSA also took out second mortgages on some properties.
We're cut off from refinances because nobody can refinance or recapitalize if there's a second lien mortgage. All of our different various funding mechanisms are now completely choked off, and we're left kind of vulnerable.
No money meant no ability to make large-scale fixes at his apartments. That includes the Montage.
This is a hellhole. Girl, it's a hellhole, and don't nobody want to live like this.
There are problems that exist at that property that are very, very serious problems. We had decided somewhere in 2025 that we could not fix Montage. There wasn't any way for us. We didn't have enough access to money.
Kulik says funding issues also held up improvements at other properties like Remington Ranch, which was declared a public nuisance after residents went months without hot water. Kulik says his team spent months trying to fix the issue, only to learn it was worse and more expensive than they originally thought.
I'm mortified that tenants had an issue with hot water. The victims of that are the tenants, but they're not victims of Vesta mismanaging that whole process.
Kulik is clear. Vesta Realty Properties had their fair share of issues before taking loans from YSA, but says they were being fixed. A representative for YSA disagrees.
Before any of this began, I'd walked 5 or 6 assets in Tulsa, and the conditions were already at a point where intervention was needed.
While the legal fight for ownership between Vesta Realty and YSA goes on, Kulik has also been taken to court in separate lawsuits filed by Fannie Mae and a former business partner. Both make allegations that Kulik used the company as a personal piggy bank, spending millions in company money on personal expenses, including credit cards.
Anybody that's ever worked for Vesta knows that my credit cards are used repeatedly, and in 2024 and 5, an unbelievable amount to pay vendors and utilities.
Kulik told us he's not sure when or where the cases will move forward. A Northern Texas judge's appointment of a trustee means that for all intents and purposes, the properties are now under control of the court while the issue is sorted out. But YSA's bankruptcy filing in Delaware, along with cases in Maryland and Oklahoma, have created layers of questions as to who is entitled to what. That could take months to figure out. In the meantime,
there's a lot of people in these apartments that's suffering, and it's not right.
I know I'm walking through, somebody's poop and it's not mine.
Kulik says he was close to a long-term solution with new investors that would have addressed all of the issues the properties are facing. But it can't move forward while YSA has claims on the properties. He insists he's doing everything he can to help until the cases are settled.
The big picture, permanent solution, I think is imminently at our doorstep.
And a lot of those folks can't move because that requires new deposits to move somewhere else. So that's why a lot of them feel like they're forced to stay there. So, Lauren, what's next in all of this?
Well, on Monday, the parties are meeting at court with the new trustee, and that may determine what the next steps are, but we're just going to keep you updated on how this all plays out.
All right, Lauren, we appreciate it. Thank you. Your weather discussion is next.